Hi, this is Mark Philippi. This is the third Hangout for the Sensible Project Management Hangout community. And we are going to talk today about advice that we have for new project managers. So far, I have been joined with, excuse me, Aleem Khan. Is that how you say your name?
That is correct.
Aline is having difficulties with his camera, so he's not going to be able to display his video, and that's too bad. But he said he'll see if what he could do for the future. Sackett, I see that you're trying to get on. If you are seeing this, if you could just select anybody else, if you're not able to get onto the Hangout, you've tried to do that, you should see a separate invite that is separate from the event that was published earlier in the week. So the invite I sent out for the Hangout about 15-20 minutes ago now. So you need to check to go and select that and accept that invite. You should be able to see that on your notifications. So let's just get right into this because Aleem only has another about 10 minutes for then he has to hop off, and then we'll see if anybody else can join. Otherwise, I have some things that we can go through as well. So again, the topic that we have today is advice that we might have for new project managers. The reason why I chose this one is because I remember vividly becoming a project manager for the first time, and there was lots of times when I was scratching my head trying to find some help. And anyway, with that, Aleem, do you have any specific suggestions you have for a new project manager if they were to start?
Sure. Just before that, I would like to thank you for arranging this session. Very interesting topic. And before we jump into the topic, I just would like to introduce myself very quickly.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So my name is Aleem Khan, and I'm an Agile consultant and trainer. In the past, I hold numerous titles like project manager, program manager, leader, PMO consultant. But after practicing Agile from the last few years, I continued my journey towards its adaptation. So I own my own consulting firm, 360 PMO. You can go and visit 360pmo.com. I have a master's degree in project management from Boston University, and I'm holding project management PMP Agile certified practitioner and Scrum certification. A lot of other technical certification, but these are more relevant. So I believe in continuous learning and passionate about coaching, seeing people reach their full potential. So this is like a quick introduction. Now, with relates to the topic, like advice for a new project manager, I go to different organization and did a lot of coaching and training. And sometime, like I remember yesterday, I was talking in a person in the library, and he is architect. So we had a very interesting discussion. And when I say I'm a project manager and I coach and train, immediately he said, I want to jump into my career and learn about more into the project management, like what exactly it is. And so I said, yeah, here you go. Everyone, they see there is a very good potential. And it's a good thing, even not taking a certification, is just understanding what exactly it is. It's like for a new project, like those who want to enter into this and try to understand and then go and choose a career path, they are having bit of difficulty in first of all, like if you see a job, like start searching a job for any project manager, immediately they are asking like 2 years, 3 years. Sometime, like if a little senior, they ask like 10 years project management experience. And this is the problem, like, everybody is like said, where to get this experience? And so back to the topic, like what are the advices? In my opinion, like people, they start they already in a project, they start, but they are not literally thinking in a way like what they are participating. So in my suggestion, first of all, in order to understand like what exactly the project manager, there is a lot of material available on the internet, but I usually recommend PMI PMBOK. Just read few chapters. You don't need to read everything. Just read few chapters. You can get a very good understanding what exactly project management, program management, what are the activities, how to interrelate, why we need a project, like So this is one of the thing in terms of very theoretical side of it, and is to promote my consulting. Uh, and these are the things like exactly any new project manager has to do is to start go out and start talking to the people, try to understand what exactly out there, what are the key challenges. Because sometimes like I saw a lot of people in a transition, and they are try to find a job, and they are like start networking, and it's very useful in a way, like receiving some sort of like leads and then suggestions. So it's really it's a good like networking is like one of the best tool for anyone to start as a good as a new project manager.
Yeah, there was something else you mentioned earlier too.
Yeah.
You suggested finding a mentor. I
Hmm.
think that that's a great thing. That when I first started as a project manager, that is one of the things that I found very effective. I went to another project manager that was a senior, and he he really took me under his wings and um, was able to help me through a lot and answer my questions. It looks like we just got joined in the Hangout by is it Mohideen? Is that right? Oh, he's still working out his video, so we'll let him work that out. So you're right that mentoring is really helpful. Did you have a mentor when you started?
So, luckily, there is two sides of it. One is when I started, I was more into the technical side of it. So my mentor is like more a business person who's like more into the business and trying to like so he's not having a real I can say a project manager mentality, or but he's running the entire show, the entire multi-million business. So luckily I was like very close to him and asked various type of question, not only related to the project manager, but later down the road I said I definitely need a good project or program manager who can help me out in my moving my career. So it's like after a few years I've luckily found a very good mentor, and I still keep in touch. In fact, I moved it from earlier I was in based in Middle East, United Arab Emirates, and then like 2 years back I moved to Toronto. So he is still based in the Middle East. So I still get in touch with him, and we had a lot of chat. He's writing a book, so he asked a lot of opinions. And once I started my own consulting here, I get a lot of suggestions, and so yeah, mentor is like something that is very close. Interaction is required, and a lot of coaching. I mean, books is and communities, books and a lot of channels are there, but I think mentor is one of it's a good channel, and I highly recommend any new project manager to go and uh, you know uh, select a mentor and then work along with him.
Good, good. I know that I know that you have limited time. Did you have any other comments that you wanted to share, or before you leave?
So I think I'm done. So I'm looking after to have a future session as well. Very interesting topic, and really enjoyed it. 15 minutes conversation, and hope to meet you in the next Hangout.
Great, thank you. Is there any way before you leave? Is there any place that you want to share as far as you being contacted, or any information you want to share?
It's in my G Plus profile. All the contact detail and email address, everything is there.
Great. Well, thanks, Aleem. Thanks for joining us, and hope you're not too late to your meeting.
Thank you very much, Mark. Have a nice day.
Great, thanks.
Bye.
Bye. Okay, so you looks like we just got joined. Thank you. Is it how do you say your name? Is it Mohideen?
No, it's Muhiddin.
How do you say it?
It's Muhiddin.
Mohideen. I knew I was going to destroy your name, so I thought I would try at least.
Sure. Well, it's an old name. Normally, I go by Dino, which is shorter.
Oh, really, Dino? Huh?
Yes,
So you don't mind if I call you Dino?
definitely not. That's my name.
Great. And tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay. Well, I come from a technical background. I live in Lebanon,
Oh,
and
excellent.
yeah, in the Middle East. I'm still in the Middle East. I worked across the Middle East. I heard Mr. Khan also worked in UAE before in the
Yes.
Emirates. I worked there as well. And for a long time, I've been a technical person, a programmer, actually. And one day, my manager suggested I move into project management since I have kind of discipline in my life. And I'm kind of a perfectionist. So
Welcome to the
at first,
company.
yeah, at first
conversations. So if you're there, I have restarted a new Hangout. I had to start a new one. So I'm going to send a note also to those in the chat room. All right, I want to make sure that this Hangout is called Hangout Part 2. So sorry for that technical difficulty. I guess that's what happens when you're working with technology. So I'm going to give people a few minutes to join back in while I set some other things up. Then we'll start going. Hopefully everybody got an invite for the second round, part 2. Kind of sad because we were just kind of rolling. Anyway, while we're waiting, let me tell you talk a little bit about before we get joined back in that discussion. The great thing about technology is it's has wonderful things. I was able to talk from somebody. I'm in Spokane, Washington, in the United States. We had somebody from Toronto. Alim was on with the Hangout from Toronto. Dino, because I'll call him Dino because I can't pronounce his other name, his real name. He's from Lebanon, and that's pretty darn cool that we could have everybody on this Hangout. Unfortunately, I think there was nothing wrong with the Google Plus Hangout itself. My network switch, or my router, there was a new router that we just got hooked up just before we started the Hangout, and for some reason, right in the middle of our discussion, that router decided to reboot itself. And so that's why we got cut off. So I apologize to everybody. And hopefully everybody else will be able to join back on. And you guys can stop laughing because of I'm assuming that everything just kind of went blank as soon as I dropped off. So apologize. So while we're waiting, Alim had to get started real quickly because he had needed to get off to a meeting. So I'll take a few minutes to introduce the Hangout a little bit better. This is right now, I guess it's part 2 of the Sensible Project Manager Hangout round 3. And so this is the third Hangout we've had. And we have this as part of the Sensible Project Manager community. So if you are watching this on air, you can see that. If you want to be able to actually participate in these Hangouts, you can do so by joining the community. I'm absolutely amazed what has happened in this last week. Looks like people really are enjoying this concept. Because we went from last Friday, we had, I think it was 44 people in the community. And 1 week later, we have 144 as of today. And so I am super excited about that because what that tells me is that people really think that this is a great, which I believe, and this is the reason why I started this community, is because I completely believe that this is a great way to be able to elevate the conversation. And I like talking about project management. I have been a project manager for 16 plus years, and I have never seen anything like this where we could have, outside of the chat rooms, I thought those were great, being able to have conversations like you see in people posting information, but in this sense, we can have a one-on-one conversation until the network drops off. Anyway, so I'm super excited about this. So let me give you some of the thoughts while I'm waiting. So we've already had some discussion about the idea of mentoring This is one of the things that I've used quite a bit in the future, whether I've helped mentor another project manager, or as I mentioned before, being mentored by a project manager helped me get started. Okay, so Dino says that he's not giving it. So Dino, I will send you out a new invite. So if any of you guys are out there and you're hearing this, I'm going to send out individual invites. If you let me know that you want to join, I will send out an invite to you specifically, because something definitely happened and I want to be able to get back on. Okay, so Dino, that new invite is on your way again. I sent out a group one, but I also sent you just an individual one. I'm also, Sackett, you were out there earlier. Hopefully I'm saying your name right. I will send you an individual invite as well. I think you were trying to join just before we got cut off. So both Dino and Sackett, I've sent you individual invites. Hopefully that will help. If anybody else wants to, is trying to get back on, and you're not able to connect with the invite I sent out, leave me a note on the comments, and I will send out you an individual invite. Okay. All right, so as I was saying, one of the other things that I think that is important for a new project manager is to understand that you are going to be learning. So don't be afraid to learn. There is so much as project managers, so many things that we're learning. The lingo is just completely different than most people, most things. Now, the good news is, as a project manager, more than likely you have participated, as you become a project manager, more than likely you participated in a previous projects. So Dino, welcome back.
Thank you.
Sorry about that. I don't
problem.
know.
That's normally a problem we have here in Lebanon. We don't have a very good internet connection. So I thought it was my problem. Oh, the connection is gone and you're still talking. I said, oops.
No, it's really funny because I got a little bit nervous because I actually I live out in the country, and so my internet connection is not fast enough for this type of a Hangout. So I actually set up a fast internet at my son's place. Well, when I showed up here this morning to have the Hangout, he had a new router, and so we had to set it up in the last minutes. And for some reason, and I got it set up just before we started, and then right in the middle it rebooted. So,
well, actually, it's very interesting. The group that you formed all together, the website, and like you have the whole setup, the mic, everything.
Oh.
You're so ready.
Well, the reason why I have this mic is because I also have a podcast, and so
I noticed.
So this mic is really good for that. So, well, okay. So thank you for coming back. Let's where did we leave off? I think I was in the middle of saying something and got cut off.
I was talking about me being a new project manager. Nevertheless, even if I've been a project manager for 2 years, yes, I learned a lot by improvising. That's all.
Yes, you're right, and
I didn't get any guidance really.
Well, exactly, because probably your only experience that you had, as you said, you started technically, and you experienced what was happening as a member of a project team, correct? Because you were working on projects.
Correct.
Yeah, so you had to kind of learn by observation. So were you then just thrown to the dogs, as they say?
Yep.
So you, so did you?
And I had a lot of resistance somehow.
In what way?
Well, I used to be a developer, and now I went to project management. Like, it was kind of really why.
Ah, so did you experience your peers, the
Exactly.
other developers were giving you a tough time? What are you telling me how to do things, right?
Exactly.
Ah, and so what did you do to overcome that?
The thing is, I have a long experience in development, and I can't just work without standards. I can't work without a document. I can't work without a functional specification document, for instance. I need everything to be written down, very well detailed, because in case I need to develop, I need to get back to something. Nothing is just so random. And actually, in their case, they don't mind. The documentation isn't really thorough, and it's okay for them, you know?
Oh, okay. So you come with a point of view that it's important for you to have your procedures clear, the documentation in place, and that was what was driving you. Is that correct?
Exactly. Actually, among the other project managers, I'm the only one who has the technical background. Everybody else can drop the responsibility to the team leaders and they will do the job,
Ah, okay.
you
And
know. But if later on they face problems, they simply take all the punches from the client, you know.
oh, I see. Okay.
So the project manager is actually the punching bag who translates the information from here to there, and it carries on with all the mistakes all over over and over again. When I want to avoid that, I need to intervene, just like I described in my comment on the previous Hangout.
Okay, so I think I understand what you're saying. Oh, yeah, that's right. I do remember your comment. The fact that you're in an environment where nobody's taking responsibility
Correct.
for things. Okay, I do remember that conversation this morning, and so that's actually a perfect item to talk about. Let's talk about that because I think that a new project manager needs to be able to understand how to handle the different types of environments. So why don't you describe a little bit more about the issue that you think that you're having with your environment and how that makes it tough for you as a project manager?
Well, actually, to begin with, many people think that the project management title is simply a title. For me, I think that's my challenge. I mean, I am in an environment that happens to be different. It's not favorable, but still, that's my challenge for me to see how to work things through and get the product I need. So basically, I think it's as I described it that no one takes the blame here. Not that I hate the blame game. I
Right.
hate to say, hey, you did that, you did that. It's not productive. I don't care about that. I come from a background before in previous companies where we never place the blame on anyone. I give the project manager all the details about the project, every single detail, making the project manager feel secure that I provided all the information. And we act as a team. I really wish that we have this feeling of a team. I even took a note here about fostering the feeling of solution ownership.
Oh,
That's
you
really important. I really need to know how to invest in that. Like, this is my target. Let's see how to do it.
perfect. So let's talk about that because I think that this is one of the challenges as a new project manager. A couple things that you've mentioned is first of all, you're coming from um, it- you were on the technical side, and so you grew up into the project management role. So first of all, is there at times when you think that the other team members are not really thinking that you are one of us, now you're a project manager? Is that a difficult transition? becoming a project manager with around your peers?
Well, I think especially the thing is maybe they got over this a year ago or even more, but the part that is bothering them is me when I intervene into technical, you know?
Okay. Ah, okay, good.
Yeah. So, for
So,
example,
yes.
excuse me, for example, there is a website that we're developing. For me, when I develop a website, I take into consideration that the content may vary. It's not just a static website. We're creating a control panel where people can edit the content management system to manage the content of the website. I take into consideration if in the future this might change, these might be added. So when I code, I take into consideration the extensibility of whatever I'm coding.
Okay, so you have, because of your experience, this is really interesting. Because of your experience, you as a project manager know how you should go about developing that software, that solution.
Correct.
And so you know the proper way about doing it, and you're seeing times when they're not doing it that way.
Exactly. Why? Because we need to finish fast. Exactly like your brother described it. The disk,
Yes?
people who are perfectionists may take longer time, but they return the product exact. They never you never go back to them. Please, I need to fix this. I need to fix that. People with lower scores in the C, they finish fast, but you always get back to them, which is really tiresome.
Yes. Yes, you're right. So that's a challenge for especially as you become a new project manager, because you're having to be able to understand how to work through your new leadership style and how other people are reacting to that. And the other part of it you're concerned about is taking on responsibility. So building, and I left a note. Did you see my comment on your post? Okay, so one of the things that I think is important as you as you're working in an environment where everybody's not really taking responsibility. I really think it's important to get the team together, and this really works well at the beginning of a project, but it can work as well in the middle of a project. But if you're finding that your team members are not really taking the ownership, get them together in a team meeting and describe exactly what you're seeing, and help them understand the vision of what we're doing and what you're expecting, what the goals of that project is, and then what I personally like, and with my leadership style, as we talked about last week, I like to put the responsibility on the team, and if you can get the team to buy into ownership for the solution, it seems to me that the excitement starts to build on the team. When they take that ownership, they're able to start solving problems like never before. Now, one of the things that you want to probably lay out is the fact that, okay, I know how it's supposed to be done because I came from the development side, and these are the things that I'm not seeing happening. How are we as a team going to make sure that these processes are followed? Does that make
One
sense?
thing,
Yeah.
yes, and one thing I want to add is that when I choose a technology or a pattern for a solution, I say why.
Why? Oh, why that
Why
technology is
is this
chosen?
not that?
Okay.
You see,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes it's too random for them. I mean, okay, let's do this. Why? Let's not do that. Why? I don't mind you telling me yes or no, but tell me why.
And are they able to communicate the why?
Apparently, the trend on the internet, like for instance, in the past, everybody used to code in HTML. I don't know if you're into development. In HTML, the layout of the page, they used to create tables,
Uh-huh.
nested tables, a table inside another table, just to create a layout.
Okay.
Then there was the web. Then came the web standards where divs were introduced, and all of a sudden, all the other elements in HTML were no longer used. I mean, hello, web standards is about using the right tag at the right content for the right content. This
Uh-huh.
is a table. This is a grid. Should be a table. You know what I mean? So no, it's the divs time. And later on came Ajax. Okay, let's do everything in Ajax.
And so and
Uh,
and so it's changing. That's I've actually worked at software development companies before, and you're right. One of the challenges that the team had was changing the technologies just because we got a new toy out there, right? And jumping on the first wagon, and all the kinks haven't been worked out, and then you also don't have a very cohesive solution. Is that what you're seeing?
Correct.
Yeah.
And another thing, by the way, when used to be a developer, I had less trouble convincing the management of new solutions.
Ah.
Like once we moved from one technology to a newer technology, the same technology. If you're aware of .NET MVC,
Yes.
we moved from MVC1 to MVC3. They were stuck in MVC1, and I suggested let's use MVC3. They resisted. We gave them, me and another developer, we gave them a proof of concept that this is better, why, 1, 2, 3. And they bought into it. And we changed the whole company. Everybody now is using MVC3. But now, since I'm no longer a developer, it's harder to change.
You mean, are you saying that at when you were leading that charge for that change, management would not listen to you as a developer, or they would listen to you as a developer?
Exactly.
Okay.
If I'm a developer, they can listen to me. But now that I have the authority as a project manager,
They
oh
won't
no,
listen?
don't go back. No.
Because that's not your role.
Whenever I say, they go, shut up.
Okay, so that's a good point. Let's talk about that, because
Sure.
one of the challenges as a new project manager, I think, is understanding, first of all, your role. It is different than being a developer, and you're now in the middle, having to communicate between the team members and management,
Right.
and finding your role and how that works. So sometimes there's a saying that I've heard quite often: you have to manage up, be able to understand how to manage your managers, right? And so setting expectations with them, that's a challenge. So what have you done? Have you been able to be effective in that endeavor, to managing up?
Well, one thing I want to add is that even though I've been told to leave the technical alone, yet again, I'm always needed in technical, and they call me, hey, please interfere here, interfere there. Oh, now you need me in coding.
And do they expect you to actually do some coding?
Actually, I do.
Okay.
I don't wait really. For me, my main concern is that I need to deliver to the client.
Okay. So
I don't want to.
yeah, that's actually one of the challenges, again, is being able to, when you move from technical into project management, and this actually, it depends on your project management, or actually the management style. Sometimes a project manager is depending on whether in a weak matrix or a strong matrix, whether it's a strong project management environment. Quite often, project managers will do technical work as well. In a more project-centric environment, project managers don't do anything like that. And if I were to try to do any coding in my environment, I'd get my hands slapped really bad. So it really depends on the organization. So
Project
no,
centric.
yes, is that yours is more project-centric?
Yeah.
So do they slap your hands if you try to do some coding?
Oh, not really.
No?
No, but I think, as I told you also in my comment, that since I'm bypassing the team leaders, what I'm working on now is my relationship with the team leaders.
Uh-huh. And they don't want you touching the code, do they?
No. They simply say, it's no longer our responsibility, thank you.
So this is a great example. This is a challenge as you grow up in the ranks, understanding where in the role that you have to live, and sometimes it's tough to give up that coding because you have expertise as a developer, and it's
my
tough.
art.
It is your art, but it's tough to let that responsibility be pushed down to your new team leaders. Right? It's tough because you know that you can probably do a better job than they can. That's right.
Yep.
Okay. So that's actually one of the challenges as a new project manager, because especially ones that have grown up in the ranks. I look at it this way. As a project manager, I know that I have some pretty good skills in some things. Some things I don't do well at all. But I do know that if I have a team, that I can use the strengths of each member of the team collectively, even though I might be better at certain tasks that they can do, collectively, I cannot do as much as the whole team can do together. But if I get that team working well together, they can produce really good stuff. Way better than if I were to do the work myself. So one of the pieces of advice I would give to a new project manager is trust your team. Even though you know that you can do certain parts of their jobs better than they can, trust them, let them do that. When you do that, that will build confidence that they have in you as a leader, and you're allowing them to show that you trust them. And when you can get that type of environment going, your teams will become very strong. Now,
actually, excuse me,
go ahead.
Actually, I do have several developers that I can blindly trust.
Perfect.
You see?
Then you rely on them.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
good.
Several developers sometimes come to me and, sorry, I forgot about this. I didn't have, no, I don't, not forgot. Sorry, I couldn't do this fixing of this bug. I tell them, just you telling me this, I'm relieved that I don't have to remind you.
You're right. That's excellent. Yeah.
You see, I really trust them. I adore them. I worship them. However, sometimes I think it's not really my job to go take a developer and tell him, listen, these are the points of weaknesses that you have. Is it my job? I'm not sure. Is it the HR job?
I would say it depends on the environment, on your leadership, your organization.
The leadership is democratic. No one gets the blame. No one talks to anyone.
Okay.
You see what I mean?
Yeah, then I would say
and
yes, it is your responsibility.
If I do talk, sometimes it's like, hey, you're being too harsh.
Yeah.
You see? And I have such an expressive face that it's normally taken negatively. Lately, there was someone who posted that blog which is in French.
Oh, in the community?
Yes.
Yes, I saw that.
Yeah, and there was one of the articles, it's about how to report a negative feedback. The first thing is what I need to work on is to really cool down and suppress my emotions, because what irritates me really is that when I bring up something wrong, I mean, you did this in the wrong way, please do not do it again. Higher management defend them. Hello, how can you? Why? If you listen to me, I am trying to defend and to work on a better performance for the company. You need to help me. If you don't want to help me, just don't fund me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
They might have a point somewhere that I'm not getting.
Yeah, and that's a fun challenge.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what, we're going to have to end the discussion. This has been a great discussion. I thank you very much, first, Aleem, for you joining, as well as Dino. Dino, say your name again.
Muhiddin.
Okay, easy for you to say.
It kind of has a meaning, which means the one who gives life to religion. Not that I'm a believer to begin with.
Uh-huh.
But anyways, that's the meaning of the name.
Well, great. Well, I really appreciate you joining. This has been a great hangout, and except for the little snafu in the middle where my internet died. Hopefully that won't happen ever again, but who knows? This is technology. So I want to thank you guys. I think that this has been a great discussion. What Dino's been saying, he actually started a great conversation in the community in as far as the suggestions for future hangouts. I'd like to encourage everybody to put out questions like what Dino said, and I'd love to ask people to respond to Dino's question that he had in that community post, because I think it's a great one, and we've touched on it a little bit here, but I think I'd love to hear more about that and other ideas for hangouts. Anyway, I would love to go on further, but we really do. I want to keep these